one more thing what I wanted to ask you is like, were these job interviews really tough, or like is it similar to the ones you have in India? Or
Okay, so
one question I had when you guys came, I don't know whether I've asked you like as a question, but somewhere I would have like, got it out from you. But then my question was, why Regina? I mean, and why not Saskatoon? Because I hear a lot of people who come to Saskatchewan in your field, okay? They rush to Saskatoon. So I'm sure you would have heard this that when you come here, including me, even I would have told the same thing to you guys, when you're looking out for a job, take a survival job, like get into some job. Any experience is Canadian experience. I always say this, any experience is Canadian experience. Did you fall into that trap? Or that's one more thing I want to tell you, like, if you have that, if you can, you should do this kind of an approach. If you really want to get into your sector, or if you don't want to step down from your position, you should do that kind of planning back from wherever you're coming. So, how was a cultural shock? So, what about work culture? Like, how different is it? One more thing, what I wanted to ask you is like, were these job interviews really tough, or like, is it similar to the ones you have in India, or?
okay, so if you ask me honestly, I will. So in Bangalore, interviews are way tougher
Mm.
because especially when you're working for a company, like I did interviews with competitors and other companies that I wanted to be part of. The interviewing process is super hard. Like they will ask you questions and deep knowledge, how deep you know about certain things. Here,
Basically, more than knowing what you know, they would want to know what you don't know, right?
something like that.
So there's a condescending vibe that you feel
Yeah.
in the interviews. I felt that, honestly speaking. I felt that the interviews back in India, I felt that, it's not at all negative, but there's always this like, oh, if you say them that, okay, you don't know particular thing, it's like, oh, you don't know. But you're supposed to know. That kind of a question is always there. But over here, even though if you get rejections also, you don't go back and question yourself like, oh shit, I don't know that. Like you don't question that. You feel really, yeah, okay, I don't know this. I'll just go prepare more about it. But there's never that, what do you call it? Like there's never that feeling that, okay, I'm not good enough. That kind of feeling you don't get in these interviews. So
it's basically
it's not easy, but it's definitely not tough. It's something that you can achieve.
it's more rigorous. It's very rigorous. Like they really want you. You have like 4 or 5 rounds. Here also we had 4 rounds, but the questions that they ask you are far more like thought-provoking types. Like in India, they would like ask you something
More of
very
technical textbook
Yeah,
type,
the managers would ask you
Yep,
maybe
yep.
1 or 2 questions, but here even the manager round and the HR round also very like thought-provoking questions. Like when you hear the question, you're like, oh, okay, what would I do? So and it's very situational.
Very situational, I
Yeah,
feel.
very
Yeah,
situational.
I feel that that's there in every industry.
Yeah.
I've heard it from Prashant, who's there in retail, from my friend who's there in finance. Even like I've never attended a proper interview here, but then still, like I feel that it's whatever interviews I've tried attending, right? They'll have one aptitude kind of thing where again it's like if it's a customer service role, they'll ask you what will you do if this customer did this, how would you react? The same case with every field. So you also need to do that prep when you come here. Like don't come with that mindset that you gave, okay, I know everything that's there in the textbook and I can just blab it out. Don't do that. Like this is the process here. Mostly this is how it goes. Like, do you think that there's any kind of courses or some kind of prep that you would suggest people to do? I understand that in IT there are different branches, but still, is there something that people can prepare when they come here?
So one tip that I would say is here, whatever job postings you find, the job descriptions and the roles and responsibilities really matter. So make sure you read them maybe once or 10 times because you want to understand. They will actually outline what they expect you to do in a day to day. It's very clearly said. In India, that's not like that. They'll tell you, I need this, I need this. They don't tell you what you actually do. Are you doing this? Are you doing that? No, they just tell you. So here it's very clear. So look at that and when you have answers, your answers should mirror in some way. It can't
That
be
you have done
exactly
that,
that,
yeah.
but maybe you can. It helps you, get a better chance.
Okay.
So that's one. And preparing, you can use any kind of interview questions that you can figure out. I think online you can find a lot. My wife is a ChatGPT expert, so she uses ChatGPT. So I also started using because of her.
No, I use ChatGPT because it helped me do a little bit of resume building because I felt that was a lot of tedious task. If you're doing it manually, just matched all the responsibilities. Because I wanted to apply for the profiles that that matched my profile. So I would.
So can you give an example of like just for an idea? Like I am clueless about what you're talking. So can
so
you tell us?
basically, ChatGPT is like an AI thing that everybody is using it.
I use ChatGPT.
Okay, sorry.
It's just that I don't know how to search it.
Yeah, so ideally what you would do is if you're looking for a certain job positions and you want to apply for it, you have a resume. You tell ChatGPT to match your resume to the position that you're applying, which is both are relevant. Both you're the one that you are going to apply for and your resume are relevant. What ChatGPT would do is it would just match it by keywords. So it would help your the resume that you edited to be picked up by the AI or so that it can be picked up. So I at first when I came here, everybody's like resume building. I put a lot of hard work into that. I mean I tried. I did a lot of videos with a child. I was not able to concentrate, so I just took the shortcut.
It's okay to take shortcuts. I think smart work is better than hard work these days because I feel that that's why I always prefer interacting with people, and understanding. I always ask them questions, where even I can learn things, like I'm in a position wherein, I maybe after like 6 or 7 months, even I have to get into that, that run of finding a job. So yeah, so all these are information for me, and I'm so glad I'm able to pass it to you guys also because you never know what works. Like it might work for her, it might not work for him, it might work for me. So yeah.
So basically, you're not lying in your resume.
Yeah. It's just that you're rewording things,
right?
You're
just rephrasing the sentences to match the responsibilities that has been mentioned. So you have the relevant experience. It's just that the wordings have to match to the kind of requirement that they have.
So a lot of people tell me, I'm not even getting a call for interview. Like even I crib about that. I'm not even getting call. I applied, I applied so many jobs. I've not got anything, So this might be one of the reasons because the keywords are not matching it. Obviously, it's everything. Everything is automated these days. Like nobody is sitting and reading your resume and picking it up. So it's just that it runs through a system. It picks through a keyword, and your resume is pops up for the HR manager to review or technical manager to review. So that's how it works. So this is one option if you don't know about it, which I didn't know. Like, okay, this is one option
so
that you
basically what you try to do is you put the responsibilities that they need and then you tell ChatGPT, okay, match that responsibilities with my resume.
Oh, okay.
So it will match it up accordingly. So the AI should be able to pick it up.
It still wouldn't be super perfect. So you will still have to do an extra work by fine tuning things that you think don't make sense. So you have to do that. So do a proofreading before you just figure out like, oh, ChatGPT will do everything for me. No, that's not how it works. So you gotta just fine tune the things.
Okay. So one question I had when you guys came, I don't know whether I've asked you like as a question, but somewhere I would have like got it out from you. But then my question was why Regina? I mean, and why not Saskatoon? Because I hear a lot of people who come to Saskatchewan in your field, okay? They rush to Saskatoon. Oh, Saskatoon's got so many IT jobs, let me also go there. So why didn't you guys do that, or why did you guys come to Regina?
I just feel like it was a hunch, really. I don't know.
So I feel like we were doing a little bit of research. So certain companies that felt like we could apply for were existing in Regina. That was one thing. So that was one. And the second thing was before we came, we got to know that we could also apply for work from home jobs. So it felt like, okay, and Regina is a small city. Even in case if you are getting a call, you could just, 8 minutes, 10 minutes away. And we don't have a car. We don't know how the traveling works in here. So Saskatoon was big city. So we
like don't say that. People will have a very different impression if you say big city. Oh, it's like Bangalore.
With respect to the
with respect to Regina, it's a big city.
So I felt like we would not be able to cover the areas. it's just both of
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
Like, if we have to go and come back, I don't. If I would get a call, the child will be with him. So it was not a practical solution for us. At that point of that time, we thought, okay, Regina seems like a good option. Let's just try here for a few months, and then if we don't get it, we can still move.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's nothing stopping us to still move. And I feel like Saskatoon, with respect to the rent and everything,
It's a little more pricier than
yeah.
Regina.
So
I mean, in all sense, it was just a
Mhm.
guess. We just saw certain companies that we thought, okay, these are the.
we were
So we
aiming
were
for
like,
that.
okay, regardless of whatever happens, one of us
Mhm.
lands in this, we can pay rent. Which
Mhm.
anyone who knows here is the basic
Yeah,
thing that you need.
your major part of
Of your income, right? So that was our end goal. So just making sure that one of us gets into anywhere and just figuring things out. So the more a reason that, and now being here, we are now getting that benefit. Like Regina is comparatively small. I don't know the size of it and whatever, but certain things are connected in a way where you tend to reach places in like 25, 30 minutes or even lesser. And
lesser
sometimes,
than that. Yeah.
traffic is pretty okay. Sometimes I don't drive, so she can tell
Mhm.
you more about that.
No, if you're going by a bus, I think from one end to the other end of Regina,
Yeah.
it's like 50 minutes, right? Like maximum. Like if you're changing buses and all those things, I don't think it takes more than 1 hour to go anywhere. So it's
Saskatoon is
convenient.
just like 2 hours.
Yeah,
almost,
yeah,
so,
it's quite convenient that way. One more thing, what I wanted to, I'm thinking about something. So yeah,
Yeah.
uh,
No, that's about it. So
Yeah.
even transit, like you said, transit is also pretty good. I kind of have been using transit for the last 3 months, 2.5 months when I have joined it. So it has
transit is a
been
bus service here.
yeah, bus service, pretty much bus. So it has been on time. There are a few instances where it might be late, but there is a tracker that can give you like a GPS location of where it is.
Yeah.
So you can actually like plan your time.
Mhm.
So if you know that there's a bus that's going to be late, maybe take a few more minutes and
Yeah.
then go. And it's been pretty good for me. I have nothing but positives to say about the bus.
So I'm sure you would have heard this that when you come here, including me, even I would have told the same thing to you guys. When you're looking out for a job, take a survival job. Like get into some job. Any experience is Canadian experience. I always say this. Any experience is Canadian experience. Did you fall into that trap, or like did you
So
like?
we've heard that stories a lot. Like anytime you meet somebody, the first thing they say is that, okay, survival job. All right, you have to look down. You will not get the same job as you've been working. We've had people here who have not been able to achieve that. So we've got that stories and we were really scared as well. So, and we were ready to apply. It's not like, okay, yeah, we're gonna apply only for that. No, we were like, yeah, we'll apply for survival jobs, but we'll also, on the other hand, look for the jobs that we, want to pursue. So, yeah, pretty much we've heard the stories and we were scared quite a lot. And
I'll tell you what we did. So we are well aware of how the job situation is in Canada and even Regina. So anyone who comes here always starts with getting a driver's license, get a car, even though you might not have.
that's a list, right?
Yeah, there's like a process. You get a car, you do Uber, you do all that. So people who do it, I do get that sentiment. So what we did before coming to Regina is we did a lot of overtime and things back home, saved a lot of money. We had some amount of surplus amount of money, not a lot, but we calculated like this is gonna be some kind of cost. So we knew how rents are here. We knew some of it, like we didn't know exactly, but we knew okay this
expenses.
much. So what we did is we put some effort in India before coming, like 6 months or even 9 months before coming. We did a lot of saving so that we just didn't spend much, and that surplus helped us to kind of not go for these because we had money to pay rent, and that's the biggest thing in groceries and whatnot. We had most of those money sent here, and then we kind of used that. So that helped us to be at ease at our head to kind of focus on the jobs that we want to get. But yeah, it would run out at some point, and when it did, I'm sure
we were
would have-
worried. By the end of third one, we were like sick, worried.
I was in conversation with them at that time. So when they came in, even I have suggested, like pick up any job if you get. So they were very clear. They're going to wait for like 2 or 3 months and then look at a job which matches their profile. So it depends on what you're comfortable with, right? Most of them who come here, they might have wound up everything back in India, and then they would have also a financial crunch wherein they don't have the luxury to actually take the 3 months. They have done the planning ahead and they have made sure that they have the savings to survive here for the maybe 3 to 4 months or So I always think, it depends on your planning. In my case, or in several other people's case, you don't have that thing because, okay, you have to pay rent, you have to do that, you have to do this, and then you get into that race of finding a job, and any job. It's not that you don't get the time to concentrate on your profile, but in their case, they were very, very clear. So that's one more thing I want to tell you. Like, if you have that, if you can, you should do this kind of an approach. If you really wanted to get into your sector, or if you don't want to step down from your position, you should do that kind of planning back from wherever you're coming. Keep a stash of, maybe 4 to 5 months. And I remember, at the end of the third month, like whenever I used to talk to them, they were like, we actually need to find a job soon, because we had
We
planned
were
for, yeah,
actually applying for jobs.
yeah,
So like Tim Hortons, cafes,
Mm.
Walmart, we did apply, but we were not receiving
yeah,
any calls.
yeah.
And the one thing that we were worried of is like if we go for the job,
Mm.
the Walmart jobs or not, we would be spending quite a lot of time there.
Mm.
So if you get an interview call,
Mm.
which does not happen
Yeah,
on weekends, it has to happen on the weekdays
Mm.
itself.
Mm.
So we would not get the time to prepare,
Mm.
or neither would we get the time to attend those interview calls.
Mm.
So we were like, okay, first 3 months we'll just slow down a little
yeah,
bit, but we were still applying,
Mm.
considering that it takes time
Mm.
for us to receive the
Mm.
call. But our aim was like, okay, we'll just
Yeah.
see.
I know that. I mean, see, it's not that they were like, okay, I won't take a survivor job.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that they were applying. It's just that, their focus was mainly on that. Like, what Sharti told us, very, very, I'm not getting the right word.
Exactly.
It's to the point wherein, she told that in case you're going for any Tim Hortons or Burger King or any kind of those kind of jobs, you're so much in strain physically, and your time is going off, and to attend an interview, maybe you have shifts, yeah, so to actually attend an interview in the morning, maybe it won't be possible for you guys, and you need to ask for leave in that particular place. What if you don't get this job and you lose that job? There are a lot of things, right? So it depends on what and how you can plan things. In their case, it worked. Not necessarily it should work for everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people, like, I'm sure, like, whoever's watched the previous video which I did for finance kind of jobs, even she told that, she could sit and look out for the job because her husband was working at that time. They had come on PR. So yeah, it depends on what background you're coming from, or, what kind of backup you have. I'm sure the students, it might be a little difficult. You can't follow this approach because, you can't work full time, first of all, and then it's just 20 hours. So it's mainly for people who have PR. Okay. So
Yeah.
you can plan accordingly and go ahead with it. So how was a cultural shock? So what about the cultural shift, or the, like, I'm sure, Bangalore life and life in Saskatchewan is very difficult. Those who don't know Bangalore, whoever is from the north of India or whoever is outside India, Bangalore is a very happening place in India, and towards the south of India. And I also used to be in Bangalore, and it's a metropolitan. It's a very fast-paced life, and you got things happening, there.
Yep.
So how was it when you came here? Was it like,
So before coming here, we kind of watched the videos, like walk through Regina, and also we got the idea that it's not like happening place. It's not like you can go out at night and have a coffee or something like that. But it was still a cool and calm place. But then we kind of expected this, that it would not be like as Bangalore. So we were like, okay, it's all right. We're just trying to make ourselves adjust to this. So we were kind of mentally preparing ourselves as well. And then when we landed to Calgary, that's where we landed. We noticed a lot of Canadians. And, and they were so warm. And every time you meet them, they greet you with so nice, like, we were really shocked, and we were happy. Oh wow, this feels nice. And then when we came to Regina, we started, meeting the almost entire population. We felt that, this is only for like, few people who does this. So that was the biggest shock that I had. But he'll explain what he...
I mean, in terms of, obviously, culture shock is different. Things are very different here. So if in broader aspect, Saskatchewan is more like an agro-based majority of agro-based in other states. It's not like a Toronto or Vancouver, where you have like bustling transportation, trains and all that. So you just have transit here. I know for a fact that you can't even drive to Moose Jaw from with transit.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah,
transit to
yeah,
Moose Jaw to Regina.
Mm.
So things like that. The people, I have actually felt the people are nice. Like there is a mixed bag. Everyone's like you never know what kind of people you meet. So, but it's generally been on a positive note. Uh, but yeah, I certain things that I don't miss is I don't miss the two-wheeler traffic in Bangalore
Yeah,
and the honking. So those were certain things that we got adjusted to now. Because initially it was like, oh, nobody's honking. Nobody is honking.
Yeah.
So, and if somebody is honking, they're kind of like scolding someone. Like,
Yeah,
hey, you're not doing things. So there, it's so used to.
yeah. There's always a noise, right?
Yeah. So things are more aligned, and it's like the lifestyle is
exciting.
very different.
Yeah.
Like, nobody is like, for instance, by 8 p.m. you will see everyone wind up. There will be
No lights.
apartments,
Yeah,
everyone will switch
yeah.
off, wind down. By 8 p.m. they're all like almost going to bed. So in Bangalore, you can go out to, if people know KR Puram, I was stuck there at 1 a.m. in peak
Yeah,
traffic.
the
And
traffic
it took me
is
like
really
1.5
bad.
hours to cross. So that kind of life
But the
is not there.
vibe is also something that we miss. The social connections that we had in Bangalore. That's definitely something we're missing here.
For sure.
Yeah, but it's we expected this. It's not like, oh, we're gonna feel the same over here. We expected that we would not have much social life as well. We expected that going out would not be something that we could be doing here. We expected that food, like you can order a lot of food in Bangalore, and you get so much offers. You can get so much services in Bangalore. And that's something that we're not going to be getting here. So these things we knew about it, so we had very low expectations. And then when you come with very low expectations, when you get good things, it's
you're
very,
trying to appreciate
very
it, right?
grateful. Like getting your company is something I'm truly grateful.
Yeah, so we
for.
bumped into each other and somehow it clicked for us because we're from the same place, in the sense, our native place also, similar, like we are both, I mean, all of us are from Kerala, and then, we are also from Bangalore. So we have a lot of things in common. So it was easy to crack conversations or, have, we could understand each other's joke, to be specific. Sometimes you don't get, like, I'm like, okay, it's just going above my head. But yeah, for us, it just clicked, and that's why we're here for a staycation. Yeah. What about work culture? Like, how different is it?
I really like it here because it's very like hustle kind of there. Like the work culture in India, it's like very much there's a demand for it. Like you have to be giving, you have to be giving, and you get exhausted at the end of the day, and you get exhausted even on your weekends. Even on your weekends, you get worried about what work would you be doing on Monday.
Yeah.
It's not that you're not passionate about it; you're very much passionate about your work, but it's really tiring. And the people that you are, getting along with as well, you feel the tiring in their, vibe as well. So here, on the other hand, everybody is really appreciative. They want to be working with you. They really respect the kind of skills that you can contribute to the work. And after 5 o'clock, once you shut down the laptop, there's no thought about work. But the next day morning, you're excited about work. That's something that I never felt back there. Like I really love my work, but that excitement, that being worried is something that I definitely don't miss after reaching here.
It's more strenuous in India.
And I can think of working even after like retirement, probably here. But there, I just want to wind up by 50 or something, 45.
It's insanely different. Here, during your day-to-day work, also, the way you think, how in Bangalore we work, it's completely different. It's very different. It's like, and I've heard a lot of people say, like, I have a couple of friends in US, and a couple of friends in Toronto somewhere they're working, and they always tell me like, oh, you're gonna experience different work cultures, so be ready for that. It's not gonna be the same as like hustle bustle work. But there is work, but there's like a feeling where it doesn't weigh you down. It's like you do the work, you get it done, take your time, whatever. But at the end of the day, the experience has been much more easy and seamless, more than more pressure in. Like, oh, you have deadlines, projects are going right. Oh, so those things are not
that rush is not. It's more balanced here.
And
I feel.
everybody is respectful of your time and effort that you do. So that's really nice.
For a change. I know for a fact that IT people back in India earn a shitload of money. Okay,
We did.
yeah, at least that's an assumption that we have. I don't know what the reality is, but then as compared to other fields of work, I feel that whoever is in IT, they tend to get a little more paid or benefits, or if not more like in respect to salary, it can be any kind of benefits that you might receive, or the companies pamper you really well, right? So I mainly want to talk about what kind of salary expectation should people have when they come here. Do you think it matches the level that they used to be? It's difficult for you guys to answer this because I know it's a vast field. But what would you say? Like,
I feel it depends on the job that you're applying for as well. So they have set a range. So you can argue between that range, but it's definitely on the job that you are applying for. So it should be the job that you are applying for must be relevant to the one that you've been doing. So you will get an idea when you are applying. So when we were looking around like 40 to 90. That's the range that we kept. But we do have friends who have got much more
beyond
than that.
yeah.
But for a beginner, I feel like we were quite satisfied with that range.
It also depends on where you're at. So if Regina being here, cost of living is comparatively lower compared to other provinces. So you won't get a super high paying job because cost of living is not that high. For example, like a friend of ours got in Vancouver and his high is significantly higher, like salary is significantly higher than us. But that's because
The cost of living,
average
yeah.
rent cost in Vancouver is 2000 plus minimum. So here you can find it way lower.
Yeah,
So those are the trade-offs. But yeah, so it's like, and one more thing here I like is that they give you the salary in most of them give you the salary hourly or yearly in your job description. Saying this pays so and so, or they typically give you a range. It's like 40,000, 60,000 in that range. So you can select if they want you.
Yeah, it's quite transparent what you do and how much you earn, and all these things are like quite transparent.
Yeah.
So, two questions. Would you suggest a person from IT to come to Saskatchewan? Second question, would you suggest a person to start from scratch, like in the sense, I know this is not scratch for you guys, but at least you are leaving a set of experience back home, and then you're coming here. Even though you are selling it here, or trying to get a job with that, but still, there is a kind of a, what do you say, you're not like on the same level, or maybe if you're stepping down, what would you suggest a person to do? Like,
I mean,
would
you
you
can definitely aim for higher. You can definitely aim, but it's not practical, or it might not be your luck. But you can try. There's nobody stopping you to try to get something that you want to. You can, being practical, you can always look for the ones that to start from the scratch. So you can put that range. It's up to us to put that range. Okay, yeah, I will definitely aim for that. But I'm going to start from here. So that's what I would just suggest.
Well, I feel that people who are in IT, generally, if you're coming on PR, maybe you need to step down a little bit and compromise a little bit on salary. But in most cases, they do find jobs in their specific fields, or related fields, because the demand is there. I mean, there are not many people, like how it's in Toronto or Vancouver. There's not many people, or loads of people, actually looking out for a job. So in that case, I feel that Saskatchewan, there is the demand, right? In case people come in and
there's actually an article out that said that the unemployment rate in Saskatchewan is actually way lower than the provincial other provinces. So on a national level, it's much more lower. And I think right about the time we came here, there were about 8,000 plus jobs that were created, were out in the market. So that all played a role in us getting us some jobs, right? So Regina is a good place. So I would say, if for a person who wants to try, it's their personal prerogative to figure it out. But do your research, see if you can weigh in your risks and weigh in your your benefits out of these things, and always make a conscious decision. Life is different from how it is in India, so you have to put all those thoughts and then make a conscious decision. I say make a pros and cons list, and if you find things are weighing one side, you go with that. So
keep some realistic expectations. Like, it might not work, it may work. So if you have those expectations, I feel like it's good.
Are you guys happy with your decision moving?
Yeah,
I think after getting jobs and being able to pay rent on them, everybody's happy.
Yeah.
So it's way more than that. It's like so when you come here initially as any immigrant would, you are nervous. You like even though you know you can do things out there, you can go for like a you always say like,
Right.
oh, I want to go here for a drive, or I want to go to the walk there, I want to go hiking and trekking and all that stuff. But when you are as an immigrant and you have a 1 and 2 year old, you have like people to feed food, and then you're like, oh, I don't have a job. It's a different mindset. You won't feel like doing anything, going out and buying things will make like a. So once you have a job, yeah, I think it really like that feeling will come when you have a job and the paychecks come on time. You're going to work. There's a level of that weight off of your shoulder that you feel like, okay, now I can look at different things. Now I can think about like other things. So it helps.
Yeah.
So definitely.
I didn't feel good till I got like some confidence.
I actually remember her telling me, and then she looked at me and she's like, you misleaded me, or something of that sort. I'm like, what? Like, what did I? And she's like, no, I saw your vlog and I was so impressed about Regina.
Yeah,
But,
like, the lifestyle is so different. And when I came here, I felt so bad. Like, oh, I've been working. So after my degree, and I've been working. So it feels very bad not to be able to work. So when I was not working and I was here, I could not enjoy the view.
Yeah.
And we came in summer.
Yeah.
I could not enjoy the view. I could not enjoy getting out. Like, just stepping out of our house, I could feel that, that tension and everything. But once I got, the job, the relief, it makes you look at things very differently.
Yeah.
Oh, the sky is so beautiful. The sun is very nice.
So it's also what goes within you mentally or emotionally, because even when I came here, it's not that I've drastically changed my salary scale or anything. Okay, it might be the same amount that what I would have received last year, but I would say I'm a much happier person this year because I have also come out of a lot of things, and like emotionally, or like you guys know my story, so I'm in a much better place emotionally, due to which I feel that things are so much more lively here. Things are so good here, and that makes a lot of difference. So when you come here, it is going to be a little bit difficult, especially as a new immigrant, as a student, to adjust to the culture here, to find friends and settle down. But then once you get to a point, things are going to be much better. So thank you, Sharti and Adin, for throwing light into your life and work and everything.
I think the light is coming.
Now there's no light. I feel I'll have to like edit this video so much, like brightness and play around with
Good
it.
luck.
Yeah. So thank you guys. I hope you enjoy the video, and like, share, and subscribe.
Subscribe. Yeah.
Bye bye.